Let's see if I can explain to you what I want to talk about without saying anything, okay? So are you ready? Okay, so here we go. Ready? You get it? Or how about this? What about this? Get it? You get it? No, I'm not trying to dance or I'm not falling over the place. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. Let me see. How about this? Okay. See this? All done. Get it? You get it? No, not that I'm a fat pig who just blew my diet with Mountain Dew. That's not what I'm trying to say. No, I'm not talking about my 3 chins in the back of my head. No. What I'm trying to say is the Eagles need speed. Speed is what we need. You know what I'm saying? We need speed.
Yo, the cowboy, Mr. McLean. You Americans are all alike. But this time, John Wayne doesn't walk into the sunset with Grace Kelly. Scary Cooper, asshole. Oh shit! Oh shit! That was crazy!
Happy trails, Hans.
Dallas still stinks.
Everybody do King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday afternoon. Thank goodness it's Friday, right? Thank goodness it's Friday. But for me, I'm depressed this Friday afternoon. I'm depressed because I blew my diet today. I blew it big time, man. Now I'm just sitting around, walking around the house, drinking Mountain Dew. What are you gonna do? The taste of failure. Tastes so good. You know, I had 2.5 weeks, no sugar. I was double moonwalking this diet's ass. And today, you know, I'm home. My wife is home. She's like, let's go to a movie. I'm like, you want to go to a movie? She's like, yeah, let's go to a movie. I'm like, all right, what do you want to go see? She goes, let's go see Glass. You want to go see Glass? Let's go. So we go to the movie theater. I'm like, you know, we go in, we get our tickets, whatever. We go near the concession stand. She wants to get some Red Vine things, whatever, Twizzlers, whatever the hell they are. And me, I'm like, I'm going to stay strong. I'm going to stay strong. But then I start smelling that popcorn. I start smelling the butter. And my legs start getting weak. I start shaking. I can't help it. I cannot separate a movie from popcorn and a Coke. If I go to a movie theater, I have to have a tub of popcorn and a tub of Coke for this tub of crap. You know what I mean? That's what I had. So once I had the tub of popcorn and soda, I was like, on the way home, like, I might as well stop at the store and buy a bunch of Mountain Dew because I already blew today's diet. I blew it. So I went and bought a bunch of Mountain Dew for today. You know, I came home. My wife had to butter my hips to get me through the door. I'm so fat. And it is what it is. So I'm going to have to start all over again tomorrow. And you know what? It doesn't really matter. I guess, you know, because the point of this is I blew my diet because I'm a fat piece of garbage. But I don't care because I'm a man with a goatee. So in the end, if you got a goatee, then you can fail your diet, you'll live. So I want to talk about the Eagles. And one of the things I'm trying to do this offseason is take the positions that I think the Eagles need to address the most, that they need to address from the outside, whether it's the draft, whether it's free agency, and then do individual videos on those positions. I did the running back the other day. Today I'm going to do wide receiver, specifically talking about that number 2 outside wide receiver, opposite side of Alshon Jeffrey, that I think needs to be addressed. I don't think it could be addressed from within. I think they're going to need to look to the draft or they're going to need to look to free agency. But before I get into that, I want to talk about Rodney McLeod. Now, many of you already know Rodney McLeod restructured his deal. It was announced last night. But what many of us did not know and nobody could figure out was how much cap savings will the Eagles get. So today it came out that the Eagles would basically get about $7.4 million in cap space. $7.4 million. That's a nice little savings restructuring that contract. So this is a really good deal. I really like the Eagles doing this here because now you get Rodney McLeod back another year. You pair him with Malcolm Jenkins, and then you have Avonte Maddox with another year in the system at corner. I really like it. I think the secondary is going to be good. But it's a big cap savings. Now, we got still get under the cap. We're still a ways from being under the cap. But you make a couple moves like this, maybe with Jernigan, with Aguilar, with Peters, Howie Roseman knows what he's doing. He'll get under the cap, and put us in a position where we could go out and get some free agents to get better, maybe to reload. So look for that. But the Rodney McLeod savings, the restructure, I love it. I think it was great. Good move by the Eagles. So when Howie Roseman is finished calculating the calculations of the cornbread, and we got some legitimate cap space to play with, to go out and sign guys with, I think we need to use some of that money to go out and get ourselves a legitimate number 2 wide receiver. Now, I'm not just talking about any wide receiver or anybody with a name. I'm talking about specifically a speed wide receiver. This Eagles team needs speed. They need speed. They need to be able to stretch the field. They need to have a guy who puts fear into a secondary because of his speed, forcing the defenses to play back, opening things underneath. I think that's what the Eagles lack, and I think they really need that. Now, they had Torrey Smith. He wasn't very productive, but at least he put enough fear with his speed that he kept defenses honest. Now, last year we had Mike Wallace. He got hurt. My feelings with him is he's 33, 34. I don't really want to bring him back. He was a great talent before. I don't know that I want to go an old guy at that position again. I'm looking for a younger guy that could be put in and be there for 6, 7, 8 years, play with Carson Wentz. Now, the only exception I'll make for me, for an older guy, or at least that I could think of off the top of my head, is Deshaun Jackson. If the Eagles can get him, if he gets cut, and he wants to come back and the Eagles want to bring him back, I wouldn't mind that because he's still fast. And you imagine him on one side and Alshon Jeffrey on the other, that would be brutal. That would be something. That would add a dimension that the Eagles didn't have before. Didn't have last year, okay? And Eagles need it. They need that speed desperately. Now, me personally, I think what I would try to do, if it was me, is I would take one of my second-round picks and I would look to get a speed wide receiver in the second round. Now, I don't know who's going to be available. There's still a lot of things yet to happen with the draft. You got to have combine and pro workouts, so we don't really know. But if you could get a guy with the abilities of a Hollywood Brown, that would work. That would be perfect. Somebody that can come in, be there for 7, 8 years, grow with Carson, play with him year in, year out. So, I'm still looking at the rookie wide receivers, but something like that. There's a couple free agents that may be available. John Brown with Baltimore. He's very, very fast. He would be a perfect fit. He's going to be unrestricted free agent. Then you have Tyrell Williams, right? Tyrell Williams is a guy I really like. Now, this may be the guy I target in free agency because he is a deep threat. He is a deep threat, and I think he's perfect. I think he's perfect to play opposite of Alshon Jeffrey. But you need that deep threat. That is so important for this team. I really think teams did not respect the Eagles' deep game or their speed last year. Aguilar has a lot of speed, but he doesn't go long. He doesn't go deep much in that slot area. He just doesn't. And I think the Eagles, they need to get a real legitimate deep threat. And I think it needs to be one of the priorities, one of the top priorities for this team. I think I'm not sure who's available yet, too. There's some restricted free agents that are going to be available, but we have to wait and see. I mean, because there's going to be a lot of signing, a lot of movement coming, but we'll see. But, a guy like John Brown, Tyrell Williams, if a Deshaun Jackson was to break free, I'm good with all of it. Any of those guys would be a perfect fit for the Eagles on the outside. Now, if the Eagles go out and let's say they get a speed wide receiver, okay, and then they add a running back, all of a sudden, this is not just a good offense. This is a dynamic offense. Especially if you could add the big game breaker, the guy who could take the ball and go 90 yards, the guy who could blow by secondary and just get wide open for the big game. We don't have that. We need that on this team. So I really hope when I look, I really hope the Eagles will address this. And when I look at my top area needs, it's right up there. It's a top 3. Outside wide receiver with speed, to me, is a top 3 positional need I think the Eagles need. Obviously, I am probably going to go offensive heavy in free agency, maybe in draft. I'm going to build around Carson. I'm going to put him in a position where he doesn't get hurt anymore. We got to address the offensive line. We have to get deeper there. I will be doing videos on the offensive line and offensive linemen who are free agents. There's quite a few out there I think would be good pickups for the Eagles, as well as defensive end, because that is another position that we're going to have to worry about. But today, it's wide receiver. I believe we need a speed wide receiver, and we need it bad, and it should be one of the Eagles' top priorities. We don't need a guy like Torrey Smith or Mike Wallace who are older. We need a younger guy, Tyrell Williams. Maybe you draft a Hollywood Brown. Somebody like that is what we need. So tell me what you think. What do you think about this wide receiver position? Let me know. I want to hear what you have to say. And don't forget, I will be streaming the Super Bowl Sunday. So if you want to come hang out with me, I'll be watching it. And then I'll be putting out my Sixers schedule for the next streams, either tonight or tomorrow, as well as my Super Bowl prediction video tonight or tomorrow. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.